What y'all listening to?
Limelight Highlight Podcast.
And welcome back to another episode of the Limelight Highlight Podcast with your host, Jonathan Rosario. And you're listening to the podcast that highlights all good things and brings them into the limelight. So I am actually traveling in this bomb hotel room in Sacramento. My job hooked me up with. It's all super classy and stuff. But anyway, while I'm traveling, I'm bringing my equipment with me because I was slacking and I didn't do it on Saturday. So now I have to do it on Sunday, which is all good. We're here for you. I've been just a couple updates. I hope everybody had a great weekend and saw Avengers Endgame. And if you're not a Marvel fan or didn't see Avengers, then you need to go figure out what you're doing with your life, because one of the greatest movies ever. 3 hours long, 3 hours and 2 minutes exactly. But so much closure, so much greatness in every bit of the way. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but that's all I got to say about that. Just waiting to get after this. Gonna watch the new Game of Thrones episode. It's been a good weekend. It's been a real good weekend. All right, now back to the podcast. So, if you guys been following the Limelight Highlight page, you see that I've been sharing a lot more recently than not about environmental stuff. You know, like I shared a post about the what are they called? Little sea turtles, the tortoises, sea turtles. And it took 96 weeks and thousands of volunteers to clean up Versova Beach in Mumbai, India, and hundreds and thousands of sea turtles hatching that week for the first time in decades due to trash. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is it's kind of just one of the things I wanted to talk about today. So, my wife and I, when we're watching TV or we're sitting around, we've been kind of getting like paperwork and stuff done, stuff that we need as far as, you know, financing and stuff like that around the house. We just want something to play in the background. So I've been playing these little videos on YouTube, and they're the, what are they called? They're like 10 things you didn't know about this, or 10 places people go to visit, or 10 things this and that, blah, 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 blah. Just interesting, dumb little stuff to play in the background. But one of them that we were listening to was 10 places that were ruined by humans, or human beings, or just, you know, tourists. So they're like these beautiful, beautiful places. Not all of them were ruined in the same way. They were ruined by humans, but not the same reason. Anyway, one of them that caught my eye was this place where I guess Leonardo DiCaprio shot a movie and was in Thailand, and it's got this beautiful view from that movie. Hundreds and thousands of tourists came to go to that specific place. And because they came, what comes with tourists? Trash. Because people don't know how to pick up after themselves. And they basically ruined the coral reef and the biosphere of the surrounding area. And they say it would take up to like a few years of shutting that place down with no activity for all that stuff to get back up to date. So it's one of those things. It's like, man, it's disgusting and ridiculous, the amount of people who throw their trash out. And I'm not trying to be a tree hugger or one of those, like, you know, go green, all crazy type person. But at the end of the day, legit, if you just clean up after yourself and you recycle, I mean, you're hearing a lot about it right now in the news, whether you believe it or not. You got to know that cleaning up after yourself and recycling and doing all those things is better for the environment. Granted, there's a lot of bad things on how we get rid of garbage and stuff like that is out of my control. But from what I see, it's crazy how much trash people just leave around. I catch up with The Block Gives Back. I'm looking at their posts, and there's tons of needles, there's trash and empty lots. Like, just pick it up. And it makes, you know, my shout out to Tommy. He actually posted something up, and it was, you know, them cleaning up the block for their 4 blocks in 4 weeks. And he said making property values go up. As a joke, of course, but it's like, damn, picking up some trash off your block will dramatically make it look better. Not only make it look better, make everybody feel better. No more trash. And then you get rid of trash, you get rid of pests like roaches and rats and stuff like that, So overall, we just got to be better as far as getting rid of our garbage and recycling. I made a joke this weekend. We were out, and in California, they banned straws. Now, people joke a lot about the ban on plastic straws, because now they serve you like these little paper straws. They're biodegradable straws. Same thing, except if you let them sit too long in your drink, they'll kind of like deteriorate. But you shouldn't be babysitting your drink that long anyway. Anyway, so people make fun of these straws like if it's making a huge difference. And I was looking up the statistics, and I don't have the site with me right now to cite the numbers and stuff, but it really is making a huge difference. I saw a video of a sea turtle, coming back to sea turtles, and they were holding the sea turtle down because it had a straw poking out of its face, and they had to get like pliers to pull the straw out, and it was like a huge piece connected to that straw. So it's like, you got to think, one straw may not make a big difference, but there's like 300 plus thousand people in this country, and a ton of them are just throwing away straws or just plastic. Not just straw. I'm not trying to get hung up on straws, but it's those little things that you get rid of them and you replace them with something better, like biodegradable straws, where that won't happen. Paper is gonna dissolve. There's sea critters that eat paper because it's just a resource that could be recycled, or just biodegradable trash, pretty much, which is a way better alternative than plastic, which doesn't, over, I don't even know how many years it takes to get rid of. So it's those little things, and I came across this article, and there was talking, it basically was talking about the researchers. They basically created a first of its kind roadmap to saving the earth from climate change years before the 2050 deadline. I don't know what deadline they're talking about, because you always hear like, oh, we got 10 years, we got 15 years, we got 30 years. But however long we have, we should be doing this a lot sooner. It blows my mind that you have politicians and people who are talking about, these politicians know a lot more about the climate than the actual scientists that came up with the deadline on when we should get our act together, and we still haven't done that. Anyway, I'm not trying to get hung up on that either, but they're talking about a full energy transition to 100% renewable energy is not only feasible, but it's cheaper than the current global energy system. So there's a bunch of researchers that are kind of researching and figuring out certain ways with the Paris Accords. I don't know if you guys remember that. We got pulled out of that because it was such a great idea. But they were saying how 1/3 of the world's energy is renewable energy. And that's only 1/3 in the whole world. And you got to add population growth. You got to add energy demand. So a bunch of stuff, there's a bunch of numbers that I can't even fathom or even begin to speak on, because I'm not a scientist and I don't know much about all this stuff. What I do know is it doesn't take a genius to know that renewable energy is the future. We're going to get there. And this postponement with, big oil companies and all that stuff that has their, a line in the pockets of politicians to keep them in power, it's daunting, but I'm trying to be optimistic, and I feel like eventually we're going to get there. Because according to the article, they're saying that 69% of the world's energy comes from solar energy, solar panels. 18 is from wind power, 3 from hydropower, and 6 from bioenergy. I don't know what bioenergy is, but regardless of what the numbers are, the fact of the matter is it's not like we don't have the resources or the capability of changing to renewable energy sources. We're just, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, because I still drive a car and I put gas in my car. A lot needs to be done as far as prices for clean vehicles and energy efficient everything, but I see more people buying Teslas. They're kind of, I wouldn't say they're getting more affordable, but more people are they're trying to do their part in a sense where it's going to help in the long run. And like I said, I don't know the answers. I'm not a scientist, but you don't have to be a genius to know that cleaning up after yourself, going to recycle, doing your part, and in any little way helps a ton. I mean, my grandpa, ever since I can remember, this man walks miles all throughout Philly. And I remember you could probably mistake him for a homeless person because he'll have a bag with him, or not even have a bag with him, but carry it. And he sees crushed cans on the street or trash, and he'll pick it up. Like, he's always been like that. I don't know what it is about him, and I don't even know if he's doing it consciously to conserve the environment. But I know for a fact he picks up all the cans because he goes to recycle them and he gets money for it. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what incentive you need to clean up after yourself. But just, you don't got to go above and beyond. Just do a little extra. That's all I'm asking, is do a little extra. Go recycle, go pick up after your trash. Don't litter. I saw somebody throw a whole bag of garbage it wasn't like a Glad bag, but it was like a fast food bag of garbage out of their window on the highway. Like, what? Oh, garbage human beings. They and I don't think we'll ever stop that, but if we can all make a conscious effort just to clean up after ourselves, that can make the world a difference. I'm gonna keep it real short today. I don't want to keep going and rambling on too much about anything else. I'm gonna just end the podcast here, honestly. So if you guys are seeing anything or have any advice as to how we could help clean the environment a little better, write to the podcast. Let me know. See what ideas you might have, or if there's anything else we can implement or I can kind of make public. Or good news, as always, write to the podcast at limelighthighlight@gmail.com. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope this podcast finds you in good graces, and go watch Infinity Wars. Actually, go watch Infinity Wars and then go watch Endgame if you haven't done so already, just to stay fresh. You won't be disappointed. Go watch Game of Thrones. I'm about to get on that right now too. And if you guys like this podcast, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. I appreciate all the love. I'm still, without second week without having a guest, and the numbers are still going up. So that makes me really happy. And I'm glad you guys are still tagging me in certain articles because I'm going to share them. I really appreciate the interaction with everybody. So I'm not going to keep blowing your heads up with thank you. So other than that, go out there, be humble, be helpful, pay it forward, be the best you. This is the Limelight Highlight Podcast. And once again, I am your host, Jonathan Rosario, and have a great week, guys. Peace.